Hey everybody, this is Perch, and got a viewer mail. Actually, a viewer offer. I'm pretty excited about this one. So let's get right into it because this feels like big things are happening for the Perch channel. Finally, I can quit work and move to that tropical island because the money has come home. So let's get right to this offer. It says, "Dear YouTube content creator." Okay, nice and personal. I like it. We are huge fans of your channels. I only have one, but I mean, it could be more. Maybe they're signaling that I should do a spinoff. I've been thinking about doing a spinoff where I talk about, something else. People have been saying to separate the weeb stuff from the US stuff. So, okay, this is exciting. I was a big fan of your channels. We have an amazing sponsorship opportunity for you. My company represents Lululemon, and based on a review of your audience, we believe you are the perfect market to target our ads for Lululemon. Yeah, it checks out. That checks out. I think most of my audience are young, female, and into yoga. That's what I take away from the comments. At any rate, if you are interested in this sponsorship opportunity, please click the link below. Note there is a $50 processing fee in order to get this amazing opportunity started for you, which could generate hundreds of millions of dollars. I mean, how can I say no? I'm all in on this. I'm sending the $50. Absolutely. I am in. Thank you very much, Lululemon. I've been fighting all this time to get like Patron or some kind of tequila to sponsor my channel. Little did I know, yoga wear, which is really designed to look like it is just spray painted onto the ass of women, so that men can properly eye grope them at any moment. That has this channel's name all over it, much like the eyes will be all over those asses. So. Cool, nice. Thank you very much, Lululemon. But let's actually look at another viewer message because that went by pretty quickly. I'm all in. What more do I need to know? Nothing more. Anyway, this one seems to be a little bit more serious. Not that the other one wasn't entirely serious. Am I right? Hey, Perch. Hope things are fine with you. There's been a small ruckus that exploded on Twitter. What? No, no. I refuse to believe this. I will believe the Lululemon sponsorship, but not this. Okay? Too far. Sorry. Regarding the upcoming Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse film. After Sony promoted the film's teaser on Twitter, a noted YouTube reactionary, who I'll refer to as ME, because I don't want to completely give him more exposure than he already has. ME, who would that be? Don't know. Responded to that tweet with a, in my opinion, unnecessary smug tweet written, "Ugh, he's not Spider-Man." Yeah, no shit, he's Miles Morales. That's good. Okay, anyway. This generated responses to his tweet, which were not positive, to say the least. He then responded with a YouTube video being smug about it. ME. God, who could that possibly... I'm not even joking at this point. I don't know. ME. Anyway. Me. Wait a minute, it's a writer. This is all a fake. No, sorry. With him being smug about it with a whole "look at these snowflakes who can't stand my opinion" attitude. Then other YouTube culture war reactionaries came to his defense on Twitter and basically turning the film into another part of so-called culture wars. This begs the question, is Twitter bullshit? Yes. Yeah, no, that's not the question. Sorry. What do you think Miles Morales having the Spider-Man mantle, especially since the version of Miles this whole ruckus started with was over a non-616 universe version, and then we had different Spider-Man before Miles, like Spider-Man 2099 and Toei Spider-Man. I thought you did like Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. Have Merry Christmas to you and your family's Perch. This is an older mail. I'm just now getting to from December 15th. I'm slowly working my way backward. So hopefully this entire thing has blown over. Nobody is bitching about Miles as Spider-Man anymore, and Twitter's calmed right down, right? That sounds about right. What do I think about all this? Well, I mean, leaving apart the entire Twitter's for dumbasses part, which we don't need to get into that. Everything is a fight. I mean, everything. Even kind of how Lululemon yoga pants, which are of high quality and definitely what you want to buy your significant other for this holiday season or the one that's coming up. You know what? President's Day is coming up, and what better gift than Lululemon? Lululemon. It makes asses good. Yeah. See, I'm getting right in there for it. So, the whole Miles is Spider-Man thing. Um, I think it's I don't know. It feels like a very tired fight. Like, who's the person in their right mind who's out there arguing Miles isn't the real Spider-Man at this? I mean, haven't we fought that so many times? Does anyone care at this point when you've got legacy characters for everything? I mean, in Hawkeye, there's another Hawkeye, and that was going on what 6 years ago. I don't know. I mean, it just there's more. There's multiple Captain Marvels. There's multiple Flashes. Multiple Green Lanterns. I mean, like there's multiple everything at this point. It feels like the Miles is not Spider Man. It's like the car has left the barn. Is that the analogy? It's like it's hard to even get excited having that argument. Now, I do think that Marvel. So this is an area where over time, you start to wonder, is Miles being called Spider-Man a benefit or a drawback for Miles? Okay, let's forget about the whole, should he be Spider-Man? Is he not Spider-Man? Are some of the people who say he's not Spider-Man secret racist? All that kind of stuff. And just go with Miles Morales has become a popular character. Okay, really, honestly, he has. His movie did well. The character can generally stand on his own. He's recognizable if you have a poster or a cartoon or a toy of a younger looking like black teen in a Spider-Man-ish costume. People will now go, oh, that's Miles. That's the other Spider-Man. And at some point, does him being called the other Spider-Man start to take away from Miles? At what point does this impact Miles more than anything? It feels like Miles should graduate to his own identity at some point. It feels like the mantle of Spider-Man. I don't know. I get the argument. It's like, oh, it's a mantle of Spider-Man, can be passed down to the next Spider-Man. And the Green Lantern is also a mantle, but it's kind of a different mantle because that's more of a label for the core, and so it makes more sense that that one gets. But all of these, passing down Superman, passing down Wonder Woman, passing down Wolverine, all these kinds of things, it feels like over time, regardless of why you did it or whether the dude bros are angry about it or whatever you want to argue, it feels like the person who suffers is the new character. Because, with Miles being established as Miles, he, it feels like now the name becomes something that drags him backward. It feels like you could come up with a good name, and I mean a good name. Like Ghost Spider was a stupid name, but you could come up with a good name for him, and people would accept it, and it could be kind of cool, and it could be a kind of a graduation moment if you want for Miles. Whereas if you keep calling him Spider-Man, he's kind of always going to be the other Spider-Man. And no matter what you do, even if we go fast forward into the future 50 years and Marvel largely stops publishing Peter Parker like midway through that, because we've seen the Uncle Ben get shot and great power, great responsibility, and because Peter Parker is so, embedded into everybody's mind, it's always going to be the second Spider-Man or the other Spider-Man. Even if you get really angry and he's like, you racist, he's Spider-Man. Don't call me other Spider-Man, he's Spider-Man. It really doesn't work. And the person who suffers is Miles, not Peter, not the people who say it's not the real Spider-Man. It feels like this is a drawback for Miles. It really feels like somebody should get off their ass and, make this, figure out a good name for this character and push the whole property forward. It feels like that would be the right thing to do at this point. Interesting. I mean, look at Spider-Gwen, okay? Who I still think is kind of a stupid name, and I think the entire concept of alternate reality Gwens is dumb for me in general. But there are people who like that character and everything else. But imagine if, as sad as it is, and as stupid as I think the name Spider-Gwen is, at least she has her own name. Imagine if they're like, oh, we're going to call you Spider-Man. It's like, well, but it's a woman, and there's already a Spider-Man. It's like, God, don't be sexist. It's Spider-Man. I mean, or what if you called her Spider-Woman, and there already is a Spider-Woman? You know what I mean? Then she's the other Spider-Woman. I mean, at least she got Spider-Gwen as a name, which is stupid, but at least it works. I mean, at least it's something unique. I think that Miles is always going to suffer from having this other identity, whether it's fair or not fair. It feels like a useless battle to fight. Like as soon as you, even if you have the high moral ground and you have the you're in the right completely. If you find yourself in an argument over is Miles the real Spider-Man or can he legitimately be called Spider-Man? It feels like you're just in a dumb argument. It's just like I don't feel like I don't feel like this is good for you or anyone. In terms of the movie, I mean, like again, I'm probably not giving a great answer here, just because it just all seems so tired at this point. If we're still having fights about, this isn't the real Spider-Man, it's the other Spider-Man. I mean, sure. My answer is who cares? Watch the movie, don't watch the movie. The least interesting part of Miles Morales to me is the name, is Spider-Man. I think that's the least interesting part of that. Miles Morales as a name, as a character, is interesting. Has some good things going for it. Calling him Spider-Man is the dumbest part and useless. Like imagine if the Miles Morales Into the Spider-Verse movie, he has some more adventures, but it comes out at the end. Like the big conclusion of this movie is he takes on a new identity. He's like, I'm not going to be in the shadow of somebody else. I'm my own man, and this is who I am. I'm Miles Morales, Spider Miles. do better than that. But that would be like people would be like, kick ass, yeah. People would be into it, including the people who like Miles Morales, who aren't necessarily bothered by him being Spider-Man. Even those people would be happy with him having his own name. And then do you think suddenly around the world people are going to be like, I have no idea who that character is? The Spider Miles? Spider-Man I understood, but Spider Miles, I have no frame of reference for what that means. I can't possibly support this. No, of course not. So, make the leap. You got the recognition, now make the leap. I don't know. In terms of it being part of the culture war, I mean, we need like a list of what topics in the culture war are so threadbare and stupid that like it just how do you even get excited talking about it anymore? I've seen a couple people in the last 2 months or so. People forward me videos every now and then. I click on them, and there was one video where the guy was like, "This is not Spider-Man." And maybe it's this ME guy. I don't know who is ME. Oh, come on, people in the descriptions, or in the comments below, please fill me in. Who's ME? ME? Yeah, I don't got it. I don't know, but but anyway, I'm watching this video, and the guy is like really angry about Miles, except he's not really angry. He seems tired. It's like it would be like me trying to argue. If you're saying, okay, Perch, do a video where you argue which place is no, actually I'll give you one. What do you what I was gonna say, what do you like worst, Arby's beef and cheddar, or just or Arby's beef and sauce? Who knows? Like me trying to get up the energy to have that argument, I like who Jesus, who cares? That's how all these Miles things sounds. It's like, hey, would you rather live in Detroit or Cincinnati? It's like, I mean, probably Cincinnati's better. I'm assuming it's better. Detroit just is a hellhole. I've been to Detroit. I think I've been to Cincinnati. Detroit sucked. I don't want to live in Detroit, but I don't want to live in Cincinnati either. So if you're gonna I've asked me to make a big full-throated argument for why, Cincinnati is far superior to Detroit. It's gonna sound like, I mean, it starts one letter earlier in the alphabet, so that's got that going for it. And right now, there's a bunch of people from Cincinnati listening to this video going, fuck you. First Arby's, now Cincinnati. How dare you, you monster. Parakeet. Thanks for listening.